Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be doing the second Soleil phase, or the second Soleil fight. So stage 4 of Void Rift Epilogue. I'm not going to drag out the intro, but I'll just get right to it. This fight is a huge, big... If I seem super tired, it's probably because I am. I have been running this fight over and over and over again. I can't even tell you how many times I've probably run this fight in the past few days trying to make a video on this for you guys. So if you do enjoy, if it does help you, please like it. This video was such a pain in my ass to make because of how hard this fight is. So please like the video. If you enjoy hanging out with me, definitely subscribe for more content. Let's get into it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of explain how this fight works before I show you the team, and then what I'll do is I'll show you my team and the gear, and then we'll just hop right into it. So this fight is way harder than the first Soleil phase, okay? I'll just tell you that from the beginning. Basically, this fight is 3 phases. So Soleil is going to start here. She's going to make her way to this area right here, these 2 rings. You're going to have units here to DPS her down from 100% health to 70% health before the timer ends. If you do not, she will just go all the way to the end and the battle will be over and you'll lose. So it's a DPS race, right? So at each checkpoint, it's a DPS race. So you need to have enough DPS here, enough DPS up here in the middle, and then you have to cycle back to your first team to have DPS here at the end. If only it were that simple though. Yes, that is part of it, but it is way more complicated than that. Why is it more complicated than that? Well, because just like the first battle, she does this Deity's Awakening. So these beacon things here will attack the last placed unit. So you also have to keep in mind the order that you're placing your units, placing your tankiest unit last so that they can tank the hits from those beacons. So you have to keep that in mind while you're doing a DPS race. The other thing to keep in mind is that you need more DPS in the middle here than you do in the first and last phase, because this phase is 100% health to 70% health. This next phase is 70% health to 30% health, and then the final is 30 to 0. So you need the most damage in this second phase here. So keep that in mind when you're building your teams. Now there are a couple additional things that are phase specific that you should keep in mind. So the first phase is really just a DPS race. The second phase is a DPS race. You have to worry about these beacons, and also you have to worry about this Deity's Thunder. So this Deity's Thunder is a super hard-hitting, cheek-clapping attack that will wipe your team. So you have to have a healer and a tank, and it's hard to stay alive. So you have to time maybe your healer's ults to try to keep people alive through this Deity's Thunder attack. So that is something specific you have to keep in mind on the second phase. The third phase, the unique thing that you have to keep in mind, is Deity's Majesty. Man, what a fun mechanic. I don't know who created this, but one of y'all did something. One of y'all did something out there to really piss off one of these developers, because this mechanic is some bullshit and a half, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Basically, what Soleil does is she removes a random DPS unit. I know it says a random enemy from the battlefield. Yeah, it's not random. It is literally always one of your DPS. So yeah, randomly removes your DPS, which it's a DPS race. So the reason this final stage is so hard is you have to essentially not only DPS race, not only worry about the beacons, but you also have to replace DPS units, which gets very confusing and very challenging, okay? And I hope I'm not going to confuse you guys when I explain this, but the reason it's so challenging is because it's not as simple as just, hey, he removed one DPS, now I can place another DPS. Because the last place unit will be attacked by these beacons here. So if you just replace your DPS with another DPS, they will immediately get wiped by these beacons. So every time you replace a DPS, you have to directly after place a tanky unit so that your DPS unit survives. Super annoying. So let's get into the team. This is the team. As you can see, it's super free to play. I'm sure everyone has all of these units, including the awakenings that I have, so I'm sure it'll be very easy. I understand this kind of team might be difficult for people to build, specifically Elowyn. This fight is really hard without Elowyn. Her rage regen is really essential. I don't know if it's possible without Elowyn. I mean, this really does feel like content that is gated by having certain heroes, to be honest. So I'm going to explain the team. It might seem a little confusing, but I'll explain everything. So first, we have Aracha. I'm running Aracha for multiple reasons. The main reason I'm running her is for her massive Lord bonus to all of these piercers. I need as much DPS as possible, and so I will take that extra boost. That said, since I'm running her as a Lord, I can't afford for her to just only have a spot as a Lord. So I built her as a tank, right? So as you can see, she has a lot of HP. But in that middle phase, when I place Aracha, I actually need extra DPS, and so I put her in a glacier set, so hopefully she can tank, but then she can also do at least a little bit of damage as well on top of it. So that's kind of what I was going for with this build. And then for her artifact, I put on a Realm Tear. I had her in a Lunacy visor, but I needed, like, it was that tight where I needed any ounce of damage I could get, so that's what I did. Next we have Hex. Absolutely incredible marksman for this. I have him in a Soulbound Arcana set with very high attack speed, okay crit damage, maxed crit rate, and then for his artifact, I'm running a maxed Spirit Siphon. Silas, I'm running him in an Infernal Roar set with 445 attack speed, high attack, decently high crit damage again, and then also a maxed Spirit Siphon. Next we have Sargak. I am running him in an Infernal Roar set with max crit rate, pretty good crit damage, high attack speed, high attack for him, and then not a max Spirit Siphon, but close enough. And one thing that I forgot to mention, all of the skills of all of these characters are maxed. Next we have Setram. I have him in a Soulbound set as well. Max crit rate, crit damage is nothing crazy. Attack speed could be significantly higher, honestly, but he's got really good attack with this build. And then for his artifact, I'm running his exclusive for the slightly longer ult. I did try this with a Spirit Siphon, but I don't know what to tell you. His exclusive worked better for me. So next we have Volka. Volka is going to be my second tank. I'm using her not only as a tank unit, but her passive is great because, again, you need units to respawn so you can replace them. And so her passive is great for that, to reduce respawns. It's also great because when she's on the battlefield, everyone heals every time they attack. And so that comes in handy as well throughout this fight, or when you place her. For her artifact, I'm running Cruel Fate. Honestly, it doesn't matter because she's not going to be in range to attack anyone or do anything, so she's just kind of sitting there and soaking damage. So next we have Constance. I have her in an Invigoration set. Decent attack speed, as high attack as I could possibly get on her, and then okay HP. Pretty good. 50k HP, 17k attack. And then for her artifact, I'm running Astral Obelisk. It's not maxed. Next we have Elowyn. I'm running Elowyn in an Invigoration set as well. Her HP could be higher, but yeah, a lot of attack, high attack speed. Healing effect could maybe be a little bit higher, but that's not too bad. And then for her artifact, I'm running a Golden Scarab. Next we have Vortex. I'm running him in an Invigoration set as well. High attack speed, decent HP, way too high healing effect. It doesn't need to be that high, but yeah, also some rage regen. And then for his artifact, I'm running the Elysian Epitaph. And then finally we have our girl Dolores, who is very important for this. That inspiration is so key to make sure that you're able to get the DPS you need, but I have 12.5k attack on her, and then for her artifact, I'm running Keen Wisdom still. So, the OG artifact for Dolores. So yeah, that's the team. I know it seems kind of wonky, specifically like the way I'm using Aracha and building her feels very wonky. I've seen people use Volka as a tank before, but yeah, this kind of fight, with how hard it was, it required me to get a bit creative and test a lot of different things out. So this is what worked for me. It may not work for you, but hopefully this at least gives you maybe some ideas for what you could do with your account. But with all that said, let's get into it. All right, let's see if we can do this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place Silas, I'm going to place Dolores, and I'm going to place Sargak, and then I'm going to wait until I have enough to place Vortex. I need to place him immediately so that he can not only heal these guys, but he can tank these shots from Soleil. And then as soon as I have all their ults up, I'll pop all those to start DPSing down the boss. Now that we have 12, I'm going to place Hex up top facing down. And then I'm going to be placing Elowyn next. Now, a lot of people I've seen complete this, they place Elowyn as the first unit up here, just to get rage regen back quick enough on the bottom. That said, the invigoration bonus for Hex is more important to me than that few seconds of rage regen for this bottom lane. I don't really need it to finish this first phase out, so. But I need as much DPS as I can possibly get for this middle phase, since you have to do more damage. Alright, next I'm going to place Setram. I'm just waiting for them to have their ults back, and then I'll pop all 3 of their ults again. I'm going to place Constance next. Place her here, so she's going to give invigoration buff to Setram, but still give inspiration to all these guys as well. Alright, 18 seconds left. I'm going to pop all these ults. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and remove everyone here. And I'm going to place Aracha. So, the reason I use Aracha here is I need as much DPS as I can possibly get in this middle lane, and I could not squeeze the DPS I needed out of just Hex and Setram. So I needed a little bit more DPS, but I also needed a tank, because Constance is not tanky enough for me to tank the hits from this guy. So I had to build a rocket and a glacier set like a tank, of course, that I showed you, and I'm hoping that the glacier set can provide me tankiness, but can also give me some attack to get a little bit of damage at least, to help us push through this second phase. Alright, I'm gonna pop Hex as soon as I can right now. I'm gonna pop Setram. I'm gonna wait. There we go. I wanted to time that perfectly with Constance. Alright, and I'm gonna pop Elowyn when he's about to do that AoE. Soleil is about to do that AoE attack. I'll pop Elowyn. So I'll pop it now. These guys are almost ready to respawn, so I gotta keep an eye on that as well. Once they're back up, I'm gonna start placing units down here. So first, I'm gonna place Silas. Next, I'm gonna place Sargak, Dolores, Vortex, and then Volka. Volka, last place unit down here, she's gonna be my tank. And I built her very, very tanky. So now up top, I'm just waiting to get ults back to hopefully DPS him down in time. We're close. Alright. Alright, gonna pop Elowyn as well. Let's see if we can do it. I'm hoping we can. It's looking promising. I need Hex to get some good RNG with his hits.
Please, I beg you!
Come on, give me one big boy hit. I need one more big boy hit, Hex. Beautiful, that's what I needed. Alright. Start pulling units now. 29.3. I like to get it a little bit lower if I can, but I'm not going to complain. Let's see if I can finish this last phase. This one is where it gets really hectic, but this phase is so hard because he's going to be pulling your DPS out. And you can't just place another DPS, because if you do, he's going to attack them first as the last place unit and just wipe them immediately. So you have to constantly place other tanky units after you place a new DPS. So that's why it gets kind of confusing in the moment. And then you're balancing all of that with trying to take his health down. So it can be very, very difficult. I'm going to pop all of these ults to try to take down as much health as I can before he pulls anyone. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the amount of damage we got on him. So he's going to pull Silas. So that is what I call bad RNG. I really wanted him to pull Sargak, of course, but yeah, that is not fun. So I'm going to place Setram, and then immediately I'm going to place Constance. So she's the last place unit. And she will hopefully tank for us a little bit here. I'm going to place Elowyn for rage regen over here. Hopefully she can survive on her own. And he's going to immediately pick him back up, which is really annoying, but that's the way it is. So next I'm going to pull Volka, and I'm going to place Hex and Aracha. See if we can do it. It's gonna be tight. That was a good big boy hit there. But yeah. Nope. Oh, this is gonna be so tight. Hex almost has it. I need him to get one hit off.
Oh my god!
He barely got it as he was getting pulled. No way. I'm at full clinch right now. I'm at full clinch right now, guys. That was crazy. That was so last second. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly did not. I did not enjoy running this fight 1,000 times, but I really do hope the guide helps some of you out there. Again, even if you don't use this exact team, I hope that at least helps you maybe come up with some ideas. As always, if you did like, or if it helped you, like the video and subscribe for more content if you enjoy hanging out with me. But until next time, see you guys.